Hello and welcome to today's Academy Live webcast. You are listening to SAP-MICROSOFT Unite Partner Connection, Duet Enterprise 2.0 webinar. Kicking us off today is your Microsoft host, Mindy Beaumonte, who is a Senior Marketing Program Manager. So now, without any further delay, it is my pleasure to hand it over. Mindy, you now have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so pleased that you were able to do so. Just a couple of housekeeping tips as we go through here. We are very pleased to offer this exclusively to our partner members today. Only those who are members of the SAP-MICROSOFT Unite Partner Connection have access to these webinars for today as well as for the next month. After that, we will post them onto our YouTube channel, and that will be publicly available as of January 18th. As you notice, we do have this newer format that's providing a better quality recording and a Q&A experience. So please make sure to utilize the Q&A tab up above, as Debbie has indicated, and this will connect you directly to us, and we can provide those answers for you. I will be monitoring this throughout the webinar, but the intention is that we will answer all questions at the end. And as Debbie mentioned, we also have a survey at the end, which helps us continue to enhance and improve these webinars. And so we ask that you do complete this survey for us. We will have another webinar that will be in January, and so watch your inboxes as we will send out that invitation shortly. Without any further ado, I would like to pass this off to Scott Campbell from SAP.
Thanks, Mindy, and welcome everybody. We'll walk you through our agenda very quickly. I'm going to take a look at the partnership between SAP and Microsoft and give you a look ahead at some of the things we're working on for 2013. Then Mike and Matt are going to join and take you through all the details of the newest release of Duet Enterprise. They'll go through the features and functions, the architecture, and show you a demonstration of the product. And then my colleague Edward is going to provide some updates on test and demo landscape availability for partners and some changes to the solution certification program. And then we'll have some time for wrap-up and Q&A. In terms of the partnership, SAP and Microsoft have been working together for over 20 years, just as we likely have with many of the Unite partners as well in a number of areas. And I'm sure you're very familiar with the depth and breadth of how SAP and Microsoft work at our customers. And that spans much more than just what we're doing around Duet Enterprise and SQL Server, as you can see in the quote here. One of the areas that I found as I talk with a lot of customers, though, and it's one where I'd actually like to challenge our Unite partners a little bit, is in the area of how we're actually seeing at the customer sites the bridging of the SAP Center of Excellence, or in the case of the Unite partners, even sometimes the SAP practice, with their colleagues over on the Microsoft side. I was recently at SharePoint 2012, and I talked to a number of customers, and this was an area where they had pointed out that there's just a lot of opportunity still in terms of getting those organizations working together. And next year, we're going to be looking for partners who want to be leaders in that, because it's going to cover not just the technology, but also from a people and process perspective. As we look at co-innovation, and as I mentioned, we're focused on not only taking Duet Enterprise and the interoperability story to the next level and enriching the Unite Partner Connection, but also building upon the successful launch of SQL Server. More importantly, we've been working together around the cloud, and in particular around a number of customer requirements for their public and private cloud needs. And you're going to see a little bit about this in the context of Duet Enterprise as we go through the presentation today. And of course, with the release of Windows 8 and Windows Phone 8, we've opened up a whole new area for collaboration on new applications covering the spectrum of hardware from PCs and tablets to phone and hybrid devices. And hopefully some of you are actually getting a chance to work with some of the new form factors and the new operating system, because we believe this can be absolutely transformational for our customers. And in fact, over the last quarter, some of you may have been able to see, whether you were at the Build conference or if you were at SharePoint 2012 or Sapphire Madrid, we've actually been showing off some new Windows 8 applications and demos of some Windows Phone 8 apps. These are covering scenarios that make a lot of business sense for information workers And the user interfaces, quite frankly, they're just spectacular if you've seen some of these. There's nothing else like them. And more importantly, we didn't just launch these because of the functionality they provide. What we were really trying to do is be able to demonstrate and show you some of the architecture and design patterns, because this is an area where we believe you're going to want to start working in consulting your customers, especially the ones that have a bring your own device policy, or those that are building out a Windows 8 strategy and roadmap. For them, the consumption of SAP is just a great use case to start with. And you can lead the way in helping them see how these consumer-grade UIs come together with all the enterprise features for security, supportability, lifecycle management, and all the other enterprise readiness aspects that you're familiar with. What that means is our partnership strategy fundamentally has really not changed. So we're still going to bring forward, in addition to what we're doing around Duet Enterprise, a number of other areas around technology interop. But at the core, we're still committed to building and expanding the ecosystem, and we'll be providing the building blocks and looking to you all to help us create the solutions that your customers are looking for on top of them. We've seen a great response already in terms of partner-built solutions on top of Duet Enterprise, and as I mentioned, Edward's going to give a little bit of update as we look ahead on the certification program in 2013, and we plan to be more proactive with you in two areas. One is helping you promote your solutions and services that you've created through more routes to market, and secondly, looking again at expanding the co-innovation into new solution areas like into Windows 8, the cloud, and other interoperability technology. So, as I mentioned, we'd like to challenge you for next year. The one area being in terms of looking at how we, again, continue to bring in your organizations and at the customer side, the SAP and the Microsoft Centers of Excellence together to lower TCO and increase productivity and satisfaction on the user side and improve and simplify the interoperability. And this slide gives you a little bit of a sense of how that looks. In fact, we just did a webinar with one of our customers, and he was sharing how one of the challenges that he actually saw in the marketplace was finding good partners who were able to not only bring both types of skill sets to the table, but also then be able to help them make that bridge within their organization to roll out. They were fine with, from a technology perspective, it was really just how did you run the project effectively given that you were cutting across the two groups. And I'm sure you've seen that as well. And this slide gives you a little bit of a taste of what that looks like. From the SAP side, it's being able to use not only Duet Enterprise, but the underlying SAP NetWeaver Gateway side to expose the SAP functionality as services and having those made available in a good cohesive way with a good semantic layer for the Microsoft developers who can then create the architectural building blocks and the layer for data and applications and components. So think things like customer or purchase order or requisition, and then be able to help from the assembly side into Windows 8 applications or other ways of using Visual Studio and SharePoint and SQL Server to be able to expose that out either to the end users directly or to those power users that you have on the SharePoint and the Office side who do the last mile to consume the information. So hopefully this gives you an outlook of where we've been, where we are, and especially where we're going in 2013 and the opportunities that you have to engage with us. And we look forward to having more conversations with you in both of those areas. And so with that, I'd like to turn over to Mike Smith, who's now going to walk you through what's new in Duet Enterprise.
Thank you, Scott. Great overview on a lot of what we're doing together here jointly between Microsoft and SAP. So folks, for those on the phone that don't know me, my name is Mike Smith. I'm part of our SAP Alliance here at Microsoft. And over the next few minutes, I hope to take you through a bit of a high-level overview of what the new Duet Enterprise is all about, what it brings to the table for you as a partner and for our joint customers we have out in the market today. So as you know, Duet Enterprise 2.0 has gone GA out in the market as of the middle of November. It was launched at Sapphire EMEA as well as at the SharePoint conference here in the U.S. The primary mechanism and value that this new product brings is support for SharePoint 2013 and truly laying the groundwork for support of the Microsoft Office 365 cloud-based scenario set. With that, I want to take a quick look at SharePoint 2013 and what it brings to the table. SharePoint 2013 is really the foundation for this new version of Duet Enterprise. It brings a whole slew of opportunity to market around new applications we can build, collaborative functionality, including BI, mobility, social capabilities, and new collaboration pieces all around applications that SAP provides today. In addition to this, SharePoint 2013 brings critical manageability and compliance components for the enterprise as well, which are really unparalleled out in the market. There's three areas I'd like to focus on when I talk briefly about what SharePoint 2013 brings for Duet Enterprise, and that's the cloud, interoperability, and this whole idea of a new apps model. As you guys saw what SAP has been building out in terms of Windows 8, the opportunity is there to leverage Duet Enterprise, SharePoint 2013, all of this functionality around mission-critical SAP data and process out in the market to add value for our customers. On the cloud front, we're looking at support for Office 365, Azure services, and additional cloud-based integration scenarios that weren't there in the 2010 suite of products. Interoperability, it's all about business connectivity, services, hybrid cloud scenarios, and of course support for the latest standards like OData, which Duet Enterprise 2.0 is built on top of. And finally, the apps model, web standards, easier development and deployment, and the key component of 2013 is an apps marketplace, unparalleled compared to our competition out in the market today. So when we think of SharePoint 2013, we think of the new version of Duet Enterprise. I want you to think about the cloud. This added functionality brings choice to our customers and really allows us to look at an architecture to build solutions that goes to any scale. Hybrid solutions of on-prem scenarios in conjunction with the scalability of the cloud goes a long way in the value proposition for applications built around enterprise data and process. So with this apps model and this cloud-based architecture that we're talking about today, I want to take a quick look at this modern application development model that Microsoft has. When we think about Duet today, we think about taking SharePoint, Microsoft Office, and leveraging these rich, familiar experiences around SAP data and processes and other line of business systems being brought into a single point of view. I really like to think of the applications we build today and a lot of the templates that our partners like yourselves have built as being very end-to-end oriented, business processes that can be enhanced by the robust collaboration features, the robust document capabilities of SharePoint and Office. These are truly rich, familiar functionalities of Microsoft spanning multiple line of business systems being brought into a single workplace for our end users to function. When we think about this whole concept of applications and apps, I want you to think about these large business processes being broken up into smaller atomic elements. Think of an HR process as an example. We have things like vacation requests. We have things like time reporting. We have elements such as benefits enrollment, managing our needs, being able to look at our data from an employee self-service standpoint. When we think of the applications we build today, these are very rich, functional, and heavy business processes and include an entire business process from end to end. Where we see apps being more of the atomic elements, a vacation request as an example, a time reporting application. These are things that our end users and our customers' end users want to take with them on mobile devices, on tablet devices, ultrabooks, their mobile phones. They're not the full business process, but they're the pieces that they can interact with in a very touch-friendly, simplified environment as they're on the road and on the go. And I also like to throw the piece in there around Connect. You know, imagine these atomic elements being leveraged across the whole new landscape of devices, from non-touch to phones, convertibles, all these new specialized devices that are going down the market, and rich devices like the Microsoft Surface. The apps model truly changes the paradigm, and nothing supports it better than SharePoint 2013 and Duet Enterprise. One of the biggest pieces that's brought to bear here is an app catalog in store. I want to give you an example of what that might look like in SharePoint 2013, but I also want to touch on the enterprise importance of this type of interface. We think of a lot of the competition Microsoft has out in the market today. They have very robust consumer-facing application stores, but no real support for enterprise-based applications. With Windows 8 applications, SAP's investment in those, our customers and our partners investing in Windows 8 in conjunction with SharePoint, we need to look at how we can offer end-to-end support, manageability, and of course, compliance and governance for these types of enterprise applications. SharePoint 2013 brings that to the table and brings added value on how we get applications out to our end users and how we manage that access for compliance. No one else in the market has this type of enterprise store in conjunction with their consumer-facing environments. Really ups the ante in terms of what you can develop as a partner around the Microsoft landscape moving forward. So let me step into what is Duet Enterprise 2.0. What does it do for us out in the market today? How does it help our customers? Well, folks, Duet Enterprise 2.0 is built on the rich functionality and capabilities of the original product, but now it goes a step further. We talk about bringing an enhanced foundation of tools on top of what's already there today, including the support for hybrid cloud and Office 365, which will be coming in the first quarter of calendar year 13. Enterprise scale support, and of course, standards-based integration leveraging both SOAP and OData, allowing you and the customer to have a choice on how they wish to expose and consume data from SAP into the Microsoft space. In addition, the prepackaged business scenarios move forward and extend out into the cloud, offering you the capability to build an application for on-prem consumption, as well as the capability to bridge the gap of the cloud and move that to Office 365 for our customers. A powerful scenario when we think about the capabilities that are there today, compounded and adding additional value through wizards, interfaces, new tools, and prepackaged scenarios for rapid time to value and rapid building of enterprise end-to-end solutions, as well as the apps we just spoke about. Just a quick look across the Duet Enterprise landscape. I've been around now for a number of years and involved with Duet Enterprise from its inception when I was at SAP and now here at Microsoft. Our customers are really craving these types of interaction and integration capabilities that come with this product. From December of 2010, the original Duet Enterprise was released, which was really a revelation, allowing our partner ecosystem to really unleash their power on top of a consistent framework for building applications for our customers. In December of 2011, we were able to take that a step further, add additional capabilities by bringing in new functionalities and faster time to value templates and wizards around time and lead management and sales operations. And here we are a year later after that, truly driving support and continuing the roadmap forward for the latest version of SharePoint 2013 and, when released, Office 365 and Office 2013 in the cloud here in Q1 of calendar year 13. Folks, it's all about the continuing roadmap of development productivity enhancements, more rapid time to value for our customers, and an enhanced framework to build on that's there for the long term, bringing Microsoft and SAP closer together than ever. It's critical that partners like yourselves engage and drive value for our customers. They're looking to you to build those business solutions and applications to help transform their business into the next generation. So looking at Duet Enterprise again, you'll notice a lot of similar themes from the original product. It's all about bringing the business process and data of SAP together with the rich collaboration and productivity functionality that Microsoft provides, and then expanding upon that with developer flexibility, the ability to extend to the cloud, an interoperability framework supported by Microsoft and SAP and built by our joint engineering teams, and business solutions built by partners like yourselves, truly driving home the value of such a framework. It's about out-of-the-box interoperability between Microsoft and SAP, extending the reach of SAP data and process to the masses, helping with adoption of SAP in large deployment environments in both on-prem and Office 365 offerings. It's still about rapidly responding to the needs of business, a flexible, standards-based architecture that's supportable and maintainable long-term, built on stacks of technology that are organic to both Microsoft and SAP. And of course, for our customers, it's about taking what they already have and making the most out of it. expanding the value of their existing investments. Microsoft SharePoint and Office, the Microsoft landscape and devices architecture as we move forward, the apps model of Windows 8, and the business data and process of SAP that our customers run our business on. In the end, it's really all about accessing your SAP data and process from anywhere. With Duet Enterprise 2.0, our customers have a choice on how they consume data and how they extend that consumption to the cloud. Office 365, on-premises deployment, and hybrid scenarios are all available at Duet Enterprise 2.0 and give you as their partners and their trusted business advisors the opportunity to build solutions that bridge all these areas, truly bringing data anywhere, anytime from SAP to the end user. A very powerful proposition built on standards. One of the big questions I get out there is the upgrade support as we move to Duet Enterprise 2.0. Folks, when it comes to 1.0 to 2.0, we have parity in terms of features and a simple upgrade path for on-premises installations. As you all know, outside of custom development that may have been done, there is no out-of-the-box support for the cloud in Duet Enterprise 1.0. So when we look at upgrade support, the on-prem scenarios port very easily with an upgrade path to the new solution. The SOAP-based architecture remains in place as a deprecated API for leveraging an on-prem, which gives us an ease of taking the 1.0 customers to the latest architecture and framework to take advantage of the new features. A simple upgrade path is key, especially as our customers look at now taking advantage of the true, pure OData streams and OData integration standards that are inherent with the new and latest product. So what does that architecture look like? Very similar to what you've seen in the past. You may have seen the block diagram I put together talking about architecture and how we bring SAP and Microsoft together with Duet Enterprise. On the SAP side, it's truly about taking any SAP element on the back end and exposing that through SAP Gateway. Gateway is a core component in which Duet Enterprise is built on, which opens further this apps paradigm that Microsoft is driving as Windows 8's been released. So through SAP Gateway, we get to SharePoint Server. Once we have the data and process in SharePoint, it's very easy now to create applications on-prem in SharePoint itself, Microsoft Office, leveraging Windows Phone, custom business packages, as well as extend that into Office 365. The deeper architecture and diagrams of what 2.0 is all about is available today out on our TechNet site, and I recommend you all to go out and take a look for the deep architectural design pieces and data around how this works. I want to touch very briefly on the fact that our architecture really hasn't changed. Whether it's on-prem or in the cloud, what you've learned today can be leveraged tomorrow with the latest Duet environment. Building applications is much easier, enhanced wizards, but it's the same process in which you all have learned in the applications you've built today for our customers and the templates you've invested in out in the market. What I'd like to leave you with as I wrap up this quick overview on the 2.0 piece is a bit of a feature set. I think it's really critical to think about what comes with the latest product and what is the value it drives across customers for people that have already deployed, first of all, and second of all, what are the enhancements that are available in a feature function type table as they upgrade. And what I've tried to do is put together in a simple view the attributes that I think are most critical. When we look at Duet Enterprise 2.0, I think it's important to note that for on-prem installations, everything is still intact from the Duet Enterprise 1.0 solution. When we look at single sign-on, we have additional capabilities as we look to move forward to the online side of things, such as support for SAML and X509 on-premise. But when we look at the online scenario, we're looking today at an X509 certificate-based single sign-on architecture. OData support is both available for on-prem and online. SOAP support. This is where we have somewhat of a limit. When we look at how we expose to the cloud, we truly want to use the most robust enterprise standard available today inherent in our product sets, and that's OData. So the SOAP support remains for our on-prem installation customers that have deployed scenarios today. So the investments you've made will move forward with the SOAP Bridge technology. But when we move to online, we think of OData as a primary solution for that, and as we move forward in the roadmap for the product. When it comes down to it, folks, our customers can take advantage of what they've already built. Our partners like yourselves can take advantage of the templates, the investments you've already made around solutions with the latest product, and we can now look at enhancing and driving forward additional development into the Office 365 cloud. I want to wrap with the fact that Office 365, the latest release, is generally available February to March of next calendar year. Therefore, the support of Duet Enterprise 2.0 for this particular feature set will come in hand with that general availability. The foundation and architecture is already there today in what's been released to GA, but supported, we're just looking at Duet Enterprise as an on-prem solution until the foundation for the cloud reaches general availability in early next year. I want to discern that because there's been some confusion with folks thinking that GA of Duet Enterprise 2.0 means all scenarios. And the fact is the cloud is still in its final stages before GA. Once that product is released, the functionality for Duet Enterprise 2.0 and Office 365 is released in tandem. So folks, I hope that was a good overview of Duet Enterprise 2.0 to give you some high level. And I mentioned there's a lot of information available on TechNet. I'm available here as well if you have additional questions through the Unite Partner Connection. With that, I'd like to turn things over to Matt Passananti from Fujitsu to give us some real-life examples of Duet Enterprise 2.0 in action. Matt?
Thanks, Mike. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Passananti, and I'm the Duet Enterprise Offering Manager for Fujitsu America. As an SAP-MICROSOFT Unite Connection partner, we receive a lot of amazing benefits. We get personalized support. We get great relationships with the Duet Enterprise sales and product teams. We get early access to beta technologies and ramp-up programs. What I'd like to do now is just go ahead and take a few minutes to share some real-world experience from a partner perspective about what it's like to be introduced to Duet Enterprise and what we found. I'd like to share what we learned at an SAP Velocity event. I'd like to give you insight into our efforts and then provide you, a very honest evaluation of our experience. As a partner, we need to understand and evaluate these new features of Duet Enterprise, and really there's kind of 7 different areas that we want to focus on. The first area that we want to focus on is the framework. On the surface, 1.0 and 2.0 look very, very similar, but there's some differences in the way that it's architected and developed between the different versions. And the most popular that Mike spoke about was the 2.0 cloud enablement. And really want to help you understand what does that mean when we move this out to customers. You can go ahead and use Duet Enterprise 2.0 to support on-premise or cloud-based SharePoint environments, just like Mike had mentioned. 2.0 requires SharePoint 2013 and Gateway SP4. The number one question that a lot of customers are going to ask are, do we need to be implementing SharePoint 2013 right now? Usually, a lot of customers make that decision based upon, business leadership's view of, what's an acceptable level of risk, more than anything. And really, the majority of companies out there are kind of in the early and late majority of the adoption curve, and they're just now investing in SharePoint 2010. So it's very, very important to let customers know that just because you're investing in 2010 doesn't mean you can't have 2013 as well, right? So because Duet Enterprise is cloud-enabled, it's really non-intrusive. And what that means is that you can continue your investment in Duet Enterprise 1.0 and in SharePoint 2010. And if you're interested in SharePoint 2013 and Duet Enterprise 2.0, you can set up a private cloud environment as well. You're free to use SharePoint Online, any hosted solution by numerous providers if you want to. We're just going to go ahead and drop a NetWeaver 2.0 SP4 gateway box in that environment and run 1.0 and 2.0 in parallel if you'd like. Again, as Mike had mentioned, we get backwards compatibility back to 1.0 SP3. Also, very important to note some of the enhancements in the security model. We now have two-way profile sync back through the NetWeaver gateway to the back-end system. We also have two-way role sync to secure any type of SAP artifacts that are exposed in SharePoint with roles that are provided from within SAP. From the perspective of data reporting and Office integration, all of those functionalities are inclusive of 1.0. However, we now have this REST-based OData web service instead of the SOAP web services, which is really important for customers. We're going to show you why here in a minute, because customers need to understand that equates directly to streamlined development of Duet Enterprise solutions. Also, it is a much more native application than it has ever been before. What was a web part is now a fully deployed feature of the site. When it comes to workflow, there's an opportunity to extend additional types. We have currently a decision type activity, and we still have that, which allows Duet Enterprise to expose SAP workflow activities into SharePoint. Because of this enhanced security model, we can now take workflow that's supported by back-end roles in SAP and bring those roles into SharePoint to secure it that way. One of the very cool things about Duet Enterprise 2.0 that Mike talked about is extensibility through mobile platforms. Duet Enterprise framework itself does not include any mobile functionality, but that doesn't stop us from going ahead and mobile enabling a Duet Enterprise-driven solution. And when we look at that, we look at HTML5 because that is device agnostic and it works wonderfully. So as I mentioned before, we went to a Velocity event, and this is where our team was able to sit down with the product team and learn about and develop Duet Enterprise solutions. What we did is we extended the SAP workflow beyond the desktop, and using SharePoint 2013 and Duet Enterprise 2.0, we were able to approve SAP workflow activities from any mobile device. So let's go ahead and pause the recording now, and what we're going to do is we're going to share a desktop that's going to have the video on it, and we're going to go ahead and I'll walk through this video.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what we were able to do is once we created the solution, we wanted to go ahead and create sort of a side-by-side comparison and look at the solution that we have. The solution that we're talking about is extending Duet Enterprise workflow onto a mobile device, onto a Windows phone or a Windows tablet. Once we created the solution, we found that the install and configuration for us for 1.0, we're looking at about 2 weeks of work for the install and configuration. But with 2.0, because we have the OData connections, it was 50% faster. It took us 1 week to do that, and that's a tremendous amount of improvement for our clients. When we get to troubleshooting in 1.0, we find that there's usually 5 sort of end-to-end activities that we look at whenever we troubleshoot any issue. We look at the services running, the root site configuration, the logs, we look at the user mapping and the security. The great thing about 2.0 is troubleshooting has been tremendously simplified. We've got 2 steps. We check the G-type RFC to NetWeaver Gateway and SharePoint. We check whether that RFC has established communication between SharePoint or not. And we go into logs, and it's much, much easier. So 40% of the effort we get to troubleshoot the issues. Then when we go ahead and we look at actually building out the workflow, extending the workflow functionality into SharePoint and building an HTML5 application on top of that, it took us 3 weeks in 1.0. In 2.0, that same functionality took us 1 week, and that just goes to the testament of the framework itself and how well improved that framework has been. So in our real-world experience, Duet 2.0, we've learned a tremendous amount, and I hope that by sharing those highlights of our experience, it's been very, very valuable for you as well. I'll go ahead and send it over to Edward. On behalf of everyone at Fujitsu, I'd like to thank SAP and Microsoft for allowing us to participate in today's webinar, and I'll be back again with our video shortly.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, we definitely want to see, I think, the demo. I think that you guys have did a great job in the Velocity event, 1 week to building this demo. Okay, so I think in the next couple of slides, I'm going to show you, give you the program update, what we have today on the training, certification, and as well as the demo and testing landscape. For those people, I think, who we haven't met before, my name is Edward Liu. I'm the product manager for Duet Enterprise and SAP NetWeaver Gateway. And so in this slide here, we want to show you the status that we have today on the training as well as the certification programs. So 2012 is a busy year. Together, SAP and Microsoft, we have jointly trained more than 600 partner consultants worldwide. The global coverage, including the North America to South America, from EMEA to APJ and to the Middle East. And we are going to continue this effort going into the new year 2013. We are going to also produce more online training sections, and so stay tuned for the training that's coming in the new year for 2.0. From a certification perspective, we have more than 50 plus solutions built for Duet Enterprise. So our partners have been contributing a lot to these partner solutions, and 14 of them have been certified by SAP Duet Enterprise certification program. And here I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your participation, contribution, and the effort from our Duet Enterprise and from our Unite Partners communities. And certainly, I think going to the next year, 2013, we're going to have the new certification program for Duet Enterprise 2.0. In addition, I think we also have the SAP Network Gateway certification program as well. So we definitely would like to see more Windows 8 applications coming out with the integration with SAP Network Gateway. So we have been hearing from our partners that you need a landscape, I think, to do demo, to do testing, to do POCs. And here is what we have offered already available today since last week. So starting last week, we have launched this CloudShare Duet Enterprise environment for our partners. So the landscape is hosted by our third-party company, CloudShare, and also managed by SAP ICC integrations and SAP integration and certifications centers. So what the CloudShare landscape offers is a full-blown Duet Enterprise landscape running on the cloud. So partner can run a CloudShare instance, which is based on the Duet Enterprise master landscape that we maintain internally in SAP. So meaning, I think you get the out-of-the-box scenario, you get the fully functioning landscape once you run this landscape. And the landscape will allow partners to test, to create custom demo, to create, also to implement POCs. So this could be your demo landscape for your customers and also your sandbox systems. So what has been included in this demo landscape? Here is the full pictures of the test and demo landscape. As you can see here, I think this is a very extensive landscape. From SAP side, it includes the Duet Enterprise feature pack 1 for the feature pack 1 landscape. It also has the SAP Network Gateway embedded into this landscape. In this landscape, you also get the SAP ERP 6.0 instance, as well as the SAP CRM backend systems. On Microsoft side, it has everything from SharePoint 2010, Office 2010, and also the full-blown Exchange Server, ADS, and domain controllers. It also includes a client machine that includes Visual Studio, SharePoint Designers, as well as the SharePoint Foundations. So everything you need for a developers and demo purpose will be included in this landscape. 2.0 landscape, including with the SharePoint 2013 and Gateway, SAP Network Gateway 2.0, Duet Enterprise 2.0. This will be coming in Q1 2013. So here is the benefits that we have offered. Just summarize slide for the benefit that we have for the test and demo landscape. So no need to mention, I think this is a fully configured system. As soon as you get this landscape, you will be able to do the demo and do the custom development from this landscape. And this landscape will be available everywhere without using a browser to access without going into VPN. So it's very convenient. And you also have full control on the operating system level, meaning I think you can install your own software into this landscape. And of course, I think pricing information here at the end, I think this is the pricing information here. And just to give a summary, I think for a initial setup, I think there will be 1,900 one-time cost. And for the operational, this will be around 2,475 euro per week. And we do provide the options for you to put this landscape into a sleeping mode that you can actually park it and you can activate it later. So the parking fee for this landscape will be 520 per week. So for more details, so this landscape is already available today. So if you want to run this landscape, just contact the SAP ICC team. The email address is here, or you can contact your partner service advisor from SAP to get this landscape. So here's the last but not least, I think we have a full channels of the social media. So here I would like to encourage you, I think, to make use of this social media. Not only that we are producing a lot of information, up-to-date information for Duet 2.0, for the upcoming release, service pack will be here fully advertised in the social media channels. But we also would like to see, I think, that we have a community that can build around these social media channels. So stay connected and come to these social media channels. We would love to promote your services, and we would love to promote your solutions to our Duet Enterprise communities. So I think that's it from my side. Now I will give it back to Matt to see, I think, if we're able to do a demo.
Yeah, let me go ahead. We'll try the demo one more time.
All right, go ahead.
Wonderful. So the first question that we had is, will this presentation be available as a handout? And yes, you will all receive an email from us within the next couple of hours that will have a PDF of this document or of the slide deck that you have seen. And it will also provide contact information for the presenters. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to them directly. We understand that some folks did have some technical issues in logging in earlier, and so we will be getting everything uploaded just as quickly as possible so that you are able to view the presentation that was given, especially by Scott and Mike, since those were the earlier sessions. And we'll also make sure to make that available just as quickly as possible. Second question was, is there a training planned in India for Duet Enterprise 2.0? And I'm going to pass that over to Louis Scott de Martinville to answer that.
Hello, so I'm the Unite lead at Microsoft. So we will have some trainings in Asia, on the Asia time zone. We don't have anything planned in India so far, but we used to have trainings in countries like Singapore, Australia, Korea, Taiwan, and Japan.
Keep an eye in your inbox to see as we start setting these up for 2013. We will also be providing these on the new SAP-MICROSOFT Unite Partner Connection website, and we will be providing you with a link to that in an upcoming newsletter. Second question is there a change in Duet Enterprise 2.0 licensing? I believe, Scott, you will be the best person to answer this question.
There's no change in particular in terms of Duet Enterprise 2.0 licensing, other than the fact now that it is available from SAP directly, is where you would typically secure the Duet Enterprise 2.0 licenses.
Very good. Thank you, Scott. All right. Let's see. Don't believe that we have any other questions that have come through at this point. We'll give folks just a minute or two if you'd like to type in anything while we have our experts on the line.
And then, Mindy, if you don't mind, I've got a couple sentences here about the survey that people see up on the screen.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. So, folks, this is a link to a brief survey. We appreciate you taking a moment to fill it out prior to logging out. If You're going to need to enter your email address to access the survey. When you're in there, our voting is on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. So if you got some good information from today's presenter team, or you have some recommendations for the future, we'd love to hear from you. And then be sure to click on the Submit button at the bottom to ensure that your feedback has been received. And with that, I'll turn it back to Mindy to see if there's any other questions. And if not, then do you have any final words for this audience?
We do have a couple more questions coming through. It looks like someone was following up on that last question regarding template updates and other technical changes from Duet 1.0 and Feature Pack 1, and any URL which has the technical details. Edward, are you able to answer this question about availability of content?
So I think we do have some online self-paced learning, I think, regarding the Duet Enterprise 2.0 features and new change configurations. So I would suggest you, I think, to go into the SAP SEN, SAP Community Network, I think, to check the those self-paced learning. So our group have been putting a lot of content, and this will continue as well in the next couple of weeks, early of the year. So those will be the place that you can look up all the change in for content as well as for the configuration setting for 2.0.
Thank you, Edward. Last question that I have coming through is, can we repeat about the migration prerequisites from Duet 1.0 to 2.0? Mike, I believe this might be a question for you.
Can you repeat the question, Mindy?
Sure. It's asking us to repeat the information about migration prereqs from Duet 1.0 to 2.0.
Great. So in terms of prereqs, the migration plan will be fairly simple, folks, in that the SOAP packages that you've already built today will run in Duet Enterprise 2.0 as is, due to the framework that's available in an on-premise situation. Anything that's been custom built for the cloud, if you guys have gone off in that direction in the original product, will most likely need to be rebuilt, if you will, because the 2.0 product brings included cloud-based functionality to the mix. Some of the technical prereqs around that are OData, when we look at the cloud-based integration with 2.0. And on-prem, though, you still have the opportunity to use either SOAP or OData technically in terms of how you choose to expose and consume data from SAP into SharePoint. I hope that helps. It really carries on as it is today on the new platform. However, with the new release, there's added functionality for the cloud, which must be leveraged using OData.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Mike, maybe you could elaborate on the earlier question about the licensing, and if you're an existing licensor of Duet Enterprise from the Microsoft side, if any changes from that perspective.
So today, it will depend on how the license works in the future, what you all plan to do in terms of upgrading to Duet Enterprise 2.0. Reach back out to the Microsoft counterparts, and we'll have a path in place for moving you to the Duet Enterprise 2.0 product. I would like to also mention, and Scott, this is a good one, that we have moved the sales motion to SAP for Duet Enterprise 2.0. Just to allow us to better meet our customers' needs and simplify the licensing process. All new licenses from here on out for new customers will be sold through SAP. So, Scott, hopefully that helps maybe with what you were thinking there.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our last two questions. Can we run gateway OData services for other consumption channels other than Duet Enterprise from the system running Duet Enterprise? Edward, is this a question for you, or if there's somebody else who's better able to jump in here?
Mindy, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. The question is, can we run gateway OData services for other consumption channels other than Duet Enterprise from the system running Duet Enterprise?
Yes, I think that is available. Gateway is embedded into Duet Enterprise. So meaning, I think we have a promotion, I think, for Duet Enterprise, meaning I think customer, if you have Duet Enterprise license, you will be able to use the gateway for other consumption channel. I think that is available. But I think we have the promotion up to the end of this year. But I think we're going to give you the update information if this promotion will be continued. But in short, I think Gateway is embedded into the Duet Enterprise. So regardless of you have a promotion, that will be available for other consumption channel to use Gateway inside the Duet Enterprise.
And we should emphasize that these can only be extended out to other Microsoft.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you, Mindy. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
The final question is, will there be specific training to the new Duet 2.0 and where it is different in configuration and development? Louis, do you want to answer that?
So yes, there will be training on Duet 2.0. We plan to do training on all geographies, so North America, Europe, Asia, and we plan to do approximately 6 trainings, technical workshops in those regions. In addition to that, we will also have velocity events, minimum 1 per big region as well.
So again, folks, watch your inboxes, and we will be promoting these as soon as these are set. You'll also hear from your SAP and or Microsoft contacts with information in regards to that out there in the field. And then, of course, our new website will also be a great resource for you. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be sending out that URL in our follow-up email as well as the newsletter that you will be receiving at the beginning of January, right after the holidays. So I believe that is all of the questions. I know that we've run just a few minutes over, so we appreciate you staying with us for these extra 5 minutes and hope that you have found this webinar very informative. We will be in touch after the holidays. We hope all of you enjoy your holidays and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mindy. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude today's Academy Live webcast. All materials will be available internally on the Academy website within 24 hours. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter team, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today. You may now disconnect from the audio portion of this call.